Each and every Thursday, sportsmemo.com goes back in time and you can daily pick packages priced at only $5. And yes, for those wondering, that includes 5% best bets, normally priced at $30. This is the real Throwback Thursday. As an added bonus, all first-time customers will be credited $25 in wager bucks after their initial $5 purchase. So each and every Thursday, make sure to go to sportsmemo.com and get best bets from the hottest cappers for only $5.
Welcome to WagerTalk Today. It's Thursday, jam-packed show. Teddy, Covers, and I, we're going to regale you with stories, laughter, sports betting information, actionable info, and a whole lot more. Teddy, we don't normally have a lead story, but Duke out of the tournament. It's been a rough year for them, man.
Yeah, and of course, for bettors, the big news is obviously they were supposed to play Florida State today, and instead they got a positive COVID test and have officially ended their season. So there will be no continuation in the ACC tournament for Duke. There'll be no run into the big dance for Duke. We will have an NCAA tournament without the Duke Blue Devils in 2021.
When was the last time Duke wasn't in that tournament?
It's got to be 20-something years ago. It's happened in the Coach K era.
Yeah,
and even the one year that Coach K wasn't there, when he was he injured, he hurt his back and had surgery and was recovering, I think they still made the tournament that year. So it's got to be since the 90s. Maybe Cokin will know. We'll ask him when he comes on in just a few minutes.
Teddy, Covers, everybody. Dave Cokin joining us at the top of the show. We're going to talk college hoops and one hockey play. We're going to take apart the Seton Hall St. John's game, the Nevada Boise State game. And bottom of the hour, Tony Finn. We're going to look at 3 NBA games. So stay tuned for that, everybody. Teddy, I just want to let you know, I think I had the worst beat last night. I'm going to listen to you tell us what went down, and then I'll tell you my thoughts.
Sure, because normally I don't put hockey into the bad beats, bad bets, bad for the book segment unless you send me one, Prez, because I don't follow it closely enough to know what the bad beats, bad bets, and bad for the books was. That said, I can tell you what happened in hoops last night. Although, I got to be honest, I had a nightmare last night. I don't have nightmares. And I had a nightmare that I was on the show and then all my notes disappeared and I had no idea what the bad beats, bad bets, and bad for the books. And I was stumbling. That said, let's talk about what happened in the betting world last night. A little recap. Start off. And it wasn't really a right side, but this was a tough beat. The Grizzlies under 238. It's a minute left. You're at 122, 109. No fouling. The under's totally live. And then, boom, you hit a 3, and then you hit another, and then a bucket, and then you dribble out. It lands 239. That was a tough beat. Wazoo was pretty tough yesterday, the big game breakdown. They were +1, +1.5. They were leading down the stretch of the second half. They're up 59-58. You're +1.5. You're up a point with 11 seconds left. The ball gets tied up. Arizona State is a possession arrow. They hit a tough contested jumper with the shot clock winding down to go up 1. And then Wazoo turnover, no foul. Coach goes nuts, gets teched up. Free throws, all with 1 second left. Final score, 64-59. Tough beat if you had the Cougs. They were winning with 11 seconds left. How about Fairfield Monmouth in the Metro Atlantic Conference? 143 was the total, bet down to 140. It's over the whole way. It's sitting at 139 with a minute 38 on the clock. 1 point. All you need to cash your over bets. Scoreless the rest of the way. Tough beat for over bettors in Fairfield Monmouth. Couple of bad bets last night. The Mavs Spurs total got steamed up. 219.5 up to 226. Lands 219. All that over money. The books get to keep it. Bad bet. This is one I had. Air Force. +13 at the open, +11 at the close against UNLV. They got bombed before halftime and lost by 28. Wrong side there. We saw Marquette get bet up. -2.5 up to -3.5 versus Georgetown. The Hoyas won that game by 19. And another one that I had, unfortunately, Stanford. -6 bet up to -8.5 against Cal. De Silva played. De Silva sucked, and so did the Cardinal. They lost by 18. couple of results that were bad for the books. It was a middle last night. New Mexico opened +7, closed +9, and lost by 8 against Fresno. That's never great for the house. And there wasn't a good game for the ACC for the books out there. Syracuse bet up to -3 against NC State. They won by 21. Duke got bet up to -3 against Louisville. They won by 14. And North Carolina got bet up against Notre Dame. They won by 42. So the ACC, not good for the bookmakers on Wednesday night. There you have it, Prez. I don't know if that was worse than any beat that you had last night, but there is a recap of what happened in the betting world. Add on if you got an add-on. I'm all ears.
Teddy, you tell me, listen, in hockey, it's tough with these bad beats, right? I mean, what defines a bad beat, et cetera, et cetera. I will give the scenario, and you tell me what you think. Colorado last night plays the Arizona Coyotes. I have Colorado in regulation, so they have to win the game before overtime. They get 46 shots on Arizona. Arizona gets 14 shots. 14 shots on Colorado. Colorado scores 2 goals in regulation. Arizona scores 0 goals in regulation, and the game goes into overtime 1-1.
Oh, bummer. You got an own netter? Yeah.
Not only No, but it's not even the own netter. Teddy, the average amount of shots in a hockey game is somewhere in the low 30s. So it's around 10 shots a period. Arizona put up 14 shots in the game, and that included overtime. It was the most lopsided game I've seen this year, and I couldn't get it home. Would you consider that a bad beat?
Absolutely. You get to be on the bad beat list again today, Prez. If that's something you want.
I don't want that. I've been out of that damn segment for weeks now. Dave Cokin with us, everybody. Dave, do you consider that a bad beat?
Well, I mentioned this. I was on Colorado last night, and fortunately, I won it. Arizona got completely obliterated in both games at Colorado and got 3 out of a possible 4 points out of it. Absolutely. It was amazing. I mean, they just got destroyed. But Antti Ranta was phenomenal in relief in the first game when Kemper got hurt. And he was as good as it gets last night. I mean, he just was sensational. I'm glad I won the game. The Montreal winner was a lot easier. The Kings winner was a lot easier. I swept the board in hockey last night.
Nice.
But I'm 17-4 in my last 21 5% plays. And last night, of those 21 plays, it's the first time where I can say I was on the wrong side for the entire game. Just a really bad play on the Providence College Friars. They were awful in the game against DePaul. I'll give the Blue Demons credit. They were much better than I thought they would be. But they're still terrible offensively, and Providence just played a miserable game. I got it dead wrong, completely wrong. And that's all I can say. Move on. The good news is it's still 17-4 in the last 21 5% plays. It'll be 18-4 after the next one. Tonight, I have a best bet in the NHL. I have a 3-pack in college basketball for $19, and they're available on my homepage right now.
Awesome stuff, Dave. I love having you on our show. Let's get straight to it. College hoops, Seton Hall, St. John's. Went to bed. Seton Hall was -1.5. Now 2.5s out there. Where are we going in this game?
This was a game that I had circled as a play on Seton Hall. And I was set to send it out this morning. And this is part of the reason I do recommend Twitter and following good cappers on Twitter. Because even when it's good cappers, when they're all on the same side, be careful.
Yep.
And that's the case here. Everybody is on Seton Hall. The line's going up. It is the wise guy play of the day. And that worries me greatly. This is a winner go home for both teams, unless you count the NIT, and I don't even know what's going on with that. Loser's done. Winner stays alive. St. John's is no pushover. And, they just beat Seton Hall last week. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world. The Pirates are great in the first round under Willard. They've got the size to give St. John's trouble. But I shy away from games where all the wise guys are on the same side because they're not wise guys in those games. I'm staying away from it, although I still lean to the Pirates.
So I cashed with St. John's against Seton Hall last week when they met in that regular season finale. It's about the only thing I've done right in college hoops of late.
Tell me about it.
But there was I was reading a lot about this game, and everyone's saying St. John's was lucky to win that game, and Seton Hall outplayed them in the stats. St. John's wasn't lucky to win that game. St. John's was the better team down the stretch, and they're getting Posh Alexander back today.
Yeah.
I'm shocked, and I mean not just by the line move, but by the intensity of it. Normally, when a team gets their star point guard back in the lineup, they take money. Today, I mean, the money flow has been pretty intense the other way, Dave. Is this just everyone loves the spot or the matchups? Or I was tempted by the Johnnies again.
Yeah, well, I'm not tempted to do that because I do think Seton Hall wins the game. But it's one of those games where the odds makers kind of told you who they like because the lower seeded team was made the favorite over the higher seeded team. That's a tell. And those games have been winning, by the way, where the odds maker makes the lower seeded team the favorite. They've been getting there. So maybe this one does as well. And I'm not recommending the Red Storm in this game, but it's just old school stuff from me. Going back to my days on the other side of the counter, that's 40 plus years ago. When even the good bettors all came in on the same side, is like, this isn't going to get there. And so I'm staying out of the game.
Dave, it's such a great point because, I mean, as one of the owners of WagerTalk, I obviously have access to the back end of our website, Sports Memo, WagerTalk. You go through, you look at all what the handicappers are doing, and it's like 8 guys on the same play. You're like, and you're on that play. You've already released that play to your clients, and you're like, oh God. How do I get off the? I don't know how it works.
It's a funny thing, and I can't document this, but public fades. People love to fade the public. I got to tell you something. I've found over the years. I think it's a worse winning percentage when it's all the wise guys, all the sharp money, all of it is on the same side. You don't really want to be on that side.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's like that in every sport.
Yeah.
Dave, let's go to the next game. Boise State -4 versus Nevada. Not much of a line move here. Curious where you're betting this one. Not where.
The Mountain
How?
West. The Mountain. I'm not betting it, but I do want to talk about the Mountain West because it's really a fascinating tournament because you got 3 teams that are really on the bubble. Colorado State, Boise State, Utah State. A lot of pressure on those teams today. Boise State, Colorado State probably can handle the team they're playing. Utah State certainly should handle the team they're playing. Boise State's in the toughest spot because Nevada's dangerous. They're suddenly going up tempo and look really good last weekend doing so. And they have no pressure on them. They're just here. Okay. I mean, if Nevada loses, Nevada has to win the tournament to get in. So there are no expectations on their side. A lot of expectations on Boise State's side. They already blew a big game because they lost to Fresno State at home last week. They pretty much could have punched their ticket with a win there. They put themselves back into the bubble situation with a loss to Fresno State. I think all the pressure's on them today. I would not be surprised if Nevada wins this game.
From a line value standpoint, Dave, these 2 teams met the first week of February in Reno, and the Wolfpack were +5 and +4.5 in those games. Now, they won one of them. They won both of them straight up, I should say.
Yep.
But from a point spread perspective, a team that's +5 at home, and now you're getting obviously less than that on a neutral floor. Does that concern you here at all from a value standpoint on the Wolfpack?
No, because there were no real home courts this year. So to me, they were all at home neutral would be the best you could call the games in Reno. So what's the difference here? It's still neutral, and I might be home neutral again for Reno. They probably have more people here than Boise, just following the team. No, I there's very few games this year where I've assigned a home court advantage. There's a few of them coming into play now because some fans are back attending games, but it's still a negligible advantage. It's not like past years.
Yeah. Dave Cokin joining us, everybody. Dave, let's move to NHL, and we've got the Blackhawks playing the Stars. And well, Chicago's been a real surprise to me this year. I mentioned on Friday that I'm going to put them on my play against list. 2-2 since then. Dallas, a surprise too, just really haven't gotten going yet. And this is a team that was in the Stanley Cup. Now Dallas again, back-to-back. They just demolished the Blackhawks last game, -145, 150. Total of 5.5 in this game. What are you doing in this one?
Well, here's the thing on Dallas. They've probably had more bad stuff happen in this first third of the season than anybody else because they had COVID issues to begin with. Yep. Then you got the storm situation in Dallas, which messed up everything. So they've had just a lot of disruption, and they've had injury issues. They're getting healthier, and they're starting to put things together. I think Dallas is maybe an undervalued team at this point. The Blackhawks have been a pleasant surprise, and I think the biggest surprise has been their goaltending, which was supposed to be really bad coming into the season, and has turned out to be a strength. I don't know if that's going to continue. I think you've got two teams that might be about to start heading in opposite directions here, with the Dallas Stars trending up and the Blackhawks trending down. So I kind of agree with your assessment there, Prez, that Chicago might be a team to start looking to fade.
Awesome stuff. Dave Cokin, again, what do you have going tonight over at WagerTalk.com? You got, and you're rolling, man. Absolutely rolling in hockey. Love having you on.
In hockey.
Yeah, dude, come on. I mean, you've had a great couple of weeks all around. What do you got going at WagerTalk tonight?
Well, rolling in hockey, and that's been constant all year. Even the games I've lost, I've had the right side for the most part. So I'm really happy with those reads. Got a best bet up tonight in the NHL, and also another play that I like. Kind of pricey, but I think it's a good play. The basketball has been horrible the last 3 days. It was going well, and then I've just been miserable the last 3 days. But I've got a 3-pack up today. I think we're going to do well with these games. All 3 for $19 right now at WagerTalk.
Dave Cokin, thanks for joining us, guys. Stay with us. Teddy's Big Game Breakdown, Tony Finn, my penalty box segment, so much more. Thursday, WagerTalk Today.
Each and every Thursday, sportsmemo.com goes back in time and you can daily pick packages priced at only $5. And yes, for those wondering, that includes 5% best bets, normally priced at $30. This is the real Throwback Thursday. As an added bonus, all first-time customers will be credited $25 in WagerBucks after their initial $5 purchase. So each and every Thursday, make sure to go to sportsmemo.com and get best bets from the hottest cappers for only $5.
It is big game breakdown time. Let's talk a little TV action for tonight with the return of the NBA. NBA on TNT, the Brooklyn Nets and the Boston Celtics. Looking at the WagerTalk live odds screen right now, I'm seeing Brooklyn 2.5, total 233 to 234 or anywhere in between. There's a fair bit of respect for Boston baked into this line, clearly. Given that the Nets, 9-1 straight up, 9-1 ATS, their last 10 before the break, profitable in every role before the break. But the Celtics get back Marcus Smart today, which is a big impact. Smart's quote, I feel great. Today, talking from a quote from yesterday. I feel great. Today's my first day to really get out there and play 5-on-5, take contact and press the limit. Felt really good. I intend on playing in the game tomorrow. So I'll get Marcus Smart back. Of course, how many minutes he's going to play is another question, Brad Steven. I know Marcus said he's good to go, but I haven't discussed specifics. He's not going to play a whole lot. He'll be on a minutes restriction this evening. Meanwhile, for the Nets, they won't have Kevin Durant. So Boston gets their guy back. Brooklyn doesn't. And what do the markets do? They knee-jerk. Celtics money, 3.5 down to 2.5. The Nets won't have Blake Griffin tonight either. Griffin, quote, I'm not injured at all. I just haven't played in 3 weeks, so I think it's smart to sort of ramp me up. So the Nets are going to be without a guy they haven't had for the last month and a guy they haven't had at all. The Celtics are trying to work. Look, Marcus Smart's a stud. Okay, and this year he's had 13 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. He's really been an impact player for that team. But game 1 back on the floor, you don't expect his A game. Boston 0-6 against the spread, their last 6 in the highway. They had a 4-game winning streak going into the break, but only 2-2 against the spread during that span, not winning by margin against lesser teams. The Celtics 1-8 against the spread, coming off a straight up win. And I know there's been a break in between, but this hasn't been the type of team that's gone on any kind of run all year. The only previous meeting this year, the Nets beat them by 28 on Christmas. Line's cheap. Brooklyn is the better of these two teams, even without Durant and even with Smart back on the floor. I say lay it. The Nets -2.5. It's the only way I can look in this one. There you have it, Prez. A little big game breakdown supporting Brooklyn minus the spot. Back to you, my friend.
Please leave your message.
Oh, wow. Was he really? Oh, he's on the phone. He's trying to get Tony Finn.
Yeah, I'm back.
Also,
I'm
mute.
back.
Huh.
I'm back. And, well, we have no Tony Finn.
Okay.
Let's
we can certainly break down the games that Tony wanted to break down. Or go any direction you'd like. Or we can spend the next 15 minutes just bitching about Tony Finn and telling all the worst Tony Finn stories we have to get him back for his show.
Well, firstly, I like Tony Finn, and he's an incredible handicapper. I want to give out a promo code. Prez 19. That's Prez 19, guys. I am rolling in the NBA. I'm on a 12-2 run in my 4% NBA best bets. I'm on a 15-7 NBA run altogether. I got a 3-pack up tonight, Teddy. And you guys can get it for $10 off my $29 price. Use the promo code Prez19. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Teddy, let's talk Atlanta Hawks versus the Toronto Raptors here. And, this is, I'm fascinated with the Raptors right now. You feel like they're about to get rolling. They're about to get going. And then they hit the skids. Tonight, this is an important game. Where are you going in this one?
So I'm in the game. But if I was going to play, I would only get Atlanta here. When we talk about Toronto's situation right now, negative situation. Okay. Team dealing post-break with the ramifications of that significant COVID outbreak prior to the break. And we're like, is Toronto getting their guys back? No, they're not. And specifically, they won't have Malachi Flynn, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, or Pascal Siakam this evening, which leaves a very shorthanded Raptors team, and a Raptors team that went into the break with 0 momentum. They lost 4 of their last 5. A Raptors team that continues to have discussions. Don't know if it's going to happen or not, but certainly the Kyle Lowry trade rumors are not good for Toronto right now. And of course, they're playing thousands of miles away from home and forced to go back to the Orlando area or the Tampa area post All-Star break. It is worth noting Toronto has been flying over the total. Their last 4 games have all gone over by double-digit margins. But when we contrast what we're seeing from the Raptors, a team that's struggling, a team dealing with COVID issues, a team dealing with trade rumors, and a team playing far from home, here's an Atlanta team that just fired their coach, won back-to-back games. And again, the first win against Miami, the defense was there. The second win against Orlando on the second of back-to-backs might be the more impressive of the two, because they were getting crushed in that game. And it felt like, oh, well, the Hawks got something right, and then no momentum. And they dug deep and rallied all the way back to win and get a push for their backers, even a win for someone who had them at -2.5. And that, to me, was the buy sign for the Atlanta Hawks. So given Toronto's struggles, given Atlanta's potentially undervalued nature right now, following the coaching change, they're still not healthy. That's the issue with the Hawks. But that's one of the issues with the Hawks, that and their defensive numbers. That said, their defense of late in the two McMillan games has been better, and Atlanta, the only one of the two teams I would trust coming out of the break. So it's Hawks or pass for this better.
Teddy, this Miami team playing Orlando today. What a tough run they had in the middle of the season, and rightfully so, just injury riddled, but they're all back now. They're playing much better ball. Man, they have won and covered the spread 7 of their last 8 games. They're playing Orlando tonight. You think Miami just keeps this ATS run rolling?
So one of the things I did during the All-Star break was I went through every single team in the first half and reading the local papers and seeing what you could find. And I came up, I'm just going to flash it right here, but I ended up putting it all on a little sheet with bet-ons, bet-against, and teams to pay a bunch of attention to right out of the break because they're capable of streaking one way or the other. Team like a Toronto that may go up or may go down, and we're just going to follow them after the break. So Miami was on my list of bet-ons. All right, clearly the Heat were an undervalued commodity once they got healthy down the stretch of the first half, and they played their best ball of the year. And this is a team that went to the finals last year, and this is a team with multiple All-Stars. This is a team that's still looking to pick up pieces before the trading deadline. There's still money to be made with Miami, and of course, there's season-long numbers. You look at Miami's season-long stats. That was a big piece of my bet-on versus bet-against equation, was looking at those first-half stats and says, what's telling the truth about right now and what's lying about right now. And Miami's stats, both sides of the basketball, particularly offensively, mediocre is not even the right word. They have bad offensive stats. They're not a bad offensive basketball team. So I do think there's value with the Heat. And Orlando's a one-way team. I'm either betting against the Magic or I'm not getting involved in the game. Fournier out for tonight, even with Gordon upgraded to questionable. I want no part of the Magic. It's Heat or pass for this better.
Teddy Covers, surprise, surprise. We've got Tony Finn with us, joining us 9 minutes into his segment. Tony, welcome to the show, dude. Where are you? We're bringing Tony up. We're gonna go through these 3 NBA games he wants to talk about. We just need to Joe.
He's working on it.
Tony.
Yes, sir. Hi there.
Tony, Toronto Raptors, Atlanta Hawks. Let's get straight into it because we literally have 6 minutes now.
Okay.
Where are you going in this game?
Well, a lot of the 3 games we're going to discuss in the NBA have to do with confirmation of injuries. At this time, this year, this season, call it what you will, the year of the COVID, injuries have played a role in. And for me, they've played a role late in the day. So I'm very careful about what I do in this game. I'm going to lean to the Atlanta Hawks. The Toronto Raptors have a lot of issues personnel wise, and the Hawks are who they are. They're a little better defensively. They focus a little more on the stop side end of the court than they did last year. And they're healthy overall compared to what Toronto brings to the court.
Which is comparable to what I was talking about just a moment ago. We both lean to Atlanta, and I haven't pulled the trigger on the Hawks either. So let's move on to the second game, Prez.
Okay.
Miami Heat, Orlando. Tony, where are you going here? You like the total, I'm told.
Well, I do like the total here. Orlando, the Magic are not that as much as they want to tell us, they want to portray being that defensive heavy team that they were, that guided them to a postseason slot last year. They haven't been that way this year. Much of that, to their defense, much of that's to injuries, and they're still dealing with those injuries. And I heard Teddy speaking a little bit towards Orlando and Miami's hiccups as well, personnel-wise, in the first half of the year. But I think you have to take Miami seriously, and I think that Orlando wants desperately to be part of the conversation, the dialogue that postseason quality or postseason worthy, should we say? But in this game, Orlando's played the over much more. They're much more offensive. They're forced to because of the personnel issues they have, and Miami, despite not having Bam, I'm believing that's the situation tonight. I believe that Vuk has his way in the paint, and that Miami have to play a little bit more. They have to be a little more offensive tonight because of the absence of Bam. So I'm going to lean towards the over. And I didn't have a total on this late last night when I decided to send this to you. But if it's out now, I was guessing it was going to be about 214. I haven't looked.
We're looking at 225. You still like that over?
Wow, really?
Wow.
Then I'm surprised at that. I don't know. Teddy, what was the first? I think the first time these two met, that situation was a little different, but I thought the total was much lower than that. So at 225, I'll have to rethink that. Obviously.
Yeah, 219 was the total the first time they met, and it snuck over Orlando 113, Miami 107, got to 220 in that ball game.
And I apologize. Like I said, when I sent these games in, when I discussed with Prez last night about the games I wanted to talk about, ones I was looking at, I didn't have a total on that game. And I didn't look again before the show this morning. So I'll rethink that. For those who are listening, 225 is a little bit high for me, I think.
Tony, Phoenix Suns, Portland Trail Blazers. Now minus 4.5 for Phoenix. Where are you going in this game?
Well, I like Phoenix in this game. I rode Portland for several games, for a handful of games in the first half when I thought they were undervalued due to the injuries of McCollum. And I put a lot of emphasis on, I believe that Portland was not going to be as competitive as many people thought they were, much like the market placed them at without McCollum. And he's the one guy on that team that's very difficult to replace, at least what Portland has to put in his place and what he brings to the hardwood. They really outplayed. I think they outplayed their skill set, or at least their personnel set. And it doesn't surprise me they did it well with Lillard, basically putting on his hat and saying, "Follow me." But in this case tonight, Phoenix is really the team that, as they closed the first half, guys, were very strong, and they have one of the best ATS marks. And I don't see that changing moving forward, especially, at least not tonight, against the Portland team coming off a break that's still suffering from personnel issues.
So from the mainstream media, I shouldn't say the mainstream media, but I've heard a lot of former athletes, like over the All-Star break, everyone's picking the Final Four in the West. And it was the same three teams everywhere: Lakers, Clippers, Jazz. I'm hearing a lot of Portland for that fourth team in the West. And yet I look at this Phoenix team and say, they're capable of winning a playoff series. And at 24-11 ATS, the Suns, if not the best, are they the best point spread team? I think they might be. Certainly one of the best point spread teams.
I think Utah.
In the NBA. Utah is 25 and against the spread compared to Phoenix's 24-11. Do you think those teams, the Jazz or the Suns, are going to be able to make anywhere near the type of money for their backers over the second half of the campaign that they made over the first half of the season?
I don't think they can duplicate that, Teddy. I don't personally think, for several reasons, because both of their schedules become more Western dominated, and as much as I would like to think the East has improved this year, the West is still the best if you're going to set these two conferences side by side, and there'll be some catching up with the Suns. The Suns are a little different. They're playing a little different. They're playing much different offensively. They play at a lot slower tempo than they did last year, and their focus was to be better defensively. The additions they made make them make them a definitely in my opinion, one of the top 4 teams. I don't think they can go 25-11, et cetera, against the spread, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that, Tony. Well said. Tony Finn, everybody. Tony, what do you got going at WagerTalk today? What's going on? How many bets you have up? Anything for the clients?
I had a nice day yesterday. We went 4-0. We've had a nice start in I know we're talking basketball, but I had a nice start in baseball with 4-0 and 4-0-1 in March. And I don't play a lot of March, but I've found some favor. I have one college up right now, an ACC matchup that I like, and I will examine this long list of injuries or question marks in the NBA player personnel, and that my plays will be up by 2 p.m. Eastern.
He's Tony Finn. Thanks for joining us, brother. Guys, we're going straight into the penalty box segment. Here comes the 2. I'm live. I'm ready to go. Monday we went through, a couple of days ago, we went through the board top to bottom, killed it. Last night we went through the board top to bottom, did not kill it. I did have a 1-1 night in NHL. Guys, remember, I got 3 NBA plays up tonight. You get it for $10 off. Use the promo code Prez19. 2 free NHL picks for you all. And, well, this one is a doozy. I'm going to step out and take the Buffalo, as my daughter calls them, Sabras, at +1, anywhere between 170, 180, 190. I mean, it's a massive, almost 2-1 dog. And why? Well, that's because they can't win a game. They've lost 7 in a row, 8 in a row, 9 of their last 10, and they're just all out of sorts. But they did take Philadelphia into a shootout last game they played, and they finally came out scoring, put up 4 goals against Philadelphia. Now they play a Pittsburgh team that has won 3 games in a row. And really kept the Rangers down to 3 goals over that 2-game period and beat Philly 4-3. Why would I play Buffalo here with Pittsburgh rolling and Buffalo in totally in the tank? I don't know. Teddy and I were talking about this last week. This is one of those I don't know why, but I like it plays. Well, that's what it is. Counterintuitive. These bad teams like Detroit and Ottawa, they do win games. We saw Anaheim lose 8 in a row, and then they go into Colorado, of all places, and win. Same thing's going to happen tonight. Buffalo as a big, juicy, fat dog. The next game I like is the Calgary Flames. They're hosting the Montreal Canadiens tonight. In Calgary, coming off 2 losses in a row, Montreal played outstanding last night. Just laid the smackdown to the Vancouver Canucks. But the bottom line is Montreal's playing back-to-back, including a travel situation, and Calgary has had some breathing room since their coach was let go and Daryl Sutter took over the bench. I think that breathing room is going to be very important. Daryl is finally going to start to put his signature to the team, and I think you're going to get one of the best games of the year from the Calgary Flames tonight. So I like Calgary at pretty much a pick'em and the Buffalo Sabres at close to 2-1. 25 seconds left in the penalty box segment, but there's another minor on the ice. Teddy is going to join me. Hey, brother.
I am. So the 25 seconds that were left on the clock, Prez, we're only there because the clock started late. You went over.
Oh, I went over? We should bet on that, Teddy. I'm probably going to go over. I'm going to be like 4-1 every week on the over.
There's a legitimate problem with making bets on something like that with you because you control how long your segment is. So it's what's known as a bad bet for anyone that bets against you on the length of your segment. Now, we could bet with the audience, with our viewers, and you still call them listeners. They're watching us. Our viewers We can make bets with them. We can set an over under in the nice face. Show us your pits again, dude. That might I was talking about nightmares. I had nightmares last night about your pits, dude. I don't ever want to see that again on air, please.
Teddy, I got like a light right above me. See how bad that is today? I got a light right above me. I got these two spotlights right in front of me shining onto my face. By the time I get off the show, I'm dripping sweat. So, plus I'm an old man to begin with. And most of the time I'm on the show, it's right after I rode the Peloton. So my body is overheated. I'm cool with it, dude. That's who I am. Take me or leave me.
Knock, knock.
Brother, ski and vino on tomorrow. Take us home.
Yeah, please. And you can always shower after you finish on the Peloton.
I do.
You come on
I
there.
shower every time, but that doesn't bring my body temperature down. You wouldn't understand, Teddy, because you doing a workout would equate to walking to your office.
It's a good workout. I do it every day. All that said, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to hang out with Prez and I. Please, before you leave, give us a like, give us a follow, and any comment you want to leave, good, bad, indifferent, just comment. It all helps us with the YouTube rankings. We want to ensure we continue to get the best free sports betting content you can find on the internet right here at WagerTalk. I want to thank Dave Cokin. I want to thank Tony Finn. I want to thank my co-host, the Prez, and I want to thank you guys. Enjoy the games today. Good luck. Remember, more games today, meaningful games in the entire NCAA tournament for the next 3 weeks. So enjoy today. Good luck.
Each and every Thursday, sportsmemo.com goes back in time and you can daily pick packages priced at only $5. And yes, for those wondering, that includes 5% best bets, normally priced at $30. This is the real Throwback Thursday. As an added bonus, all first-time customers will be credited $25 in WagerBucks after their initial $5 purchase. So each and every Thursday, make sure to go to sportsmemo.com and get best bets from the hottest cappers for only $5.